Are you sticking to the price target for Bitcoin? Could it go even higher, or I don't know?
I'm sticking with it, yes.
Okay.
So I guess what was kind of surprising to us was how, I guess, stubborn the Jerome Powell has been with the rate decision, and I kind of share the same view with the Trump, I guess.
Trump.
So that was kind of unexpected. So I think that what that did was maybe push the timing of liquidity loosening, and as a result, I think the Bitcoin price is maybe not appreciating as fast as I had expected in December when I made that forecast. Right. But I think there are some signs that indicate that the liquidity loosening will happen in the next few months, such as the Trump's tax bill, and also the comments from a few Fed officials been quite dovish recently. Right. And also there has been a rule change on the so-called the supplementary leverage ratio in the banking sector, which will allow the banks to hold additional $5 trillion worth of treasuries if it is implemented. So I think considering all of this, there are some reasons to hope that the liquidity conditions will improve substantially in the second half.
Really quickly, because I do want to touch on stablecoins with you today, but really quickly, I'm hearing about Solana ETFs, that we already have Ethereum. Do we need all these altcoins ETFs, or is this season going to prove that Bitcoin is it and somehow test the cases for some of the smaller names? Why do they need to coexist?
Why do they need to coexist? Well, I think
I know it's different blockchain technology and all, but yeah.
Correct, yeah. So I think one good kind of gauge to look at to assess the demand level for this type of altcoin is to look at the so-called the global ETPs that exist outside the U.S. and in places like Europe, for instance. So in the case of Solana, globally, there's already about over $1 billion worth of AUM under these ETPs outside the U.S. So that's always a good indication, I think, for U.S. listed ETF, for something like a Solana, for instance. So the demand, I think, is there, and whether we need additional ETFs or not, I think it's all kind of also another factor that drives that decision is people want to diversify their crypto exposures. So for these people, having additional options other than Bitcoin and Ethereum is probably going to be a plus.
Let's talk about BTC versus stablecoins, because people who got into Bitcoin early, I thought they were saying that eventually everything is going to be priced in Bitcoin, but that doesn't seem to be the case, or maybe you disagree, but so it certainly looks like to me Bitcoin is a store of value and stablecoin is a sort of like the banking infrastructure. Is that how I should understand? And how do you define their roles? And what does it really mean for the dollar?
Right, yeah. So
it's a lot there.
Yeah. I think the one thing that we need to keep in mind is when we look at the crypto sector, it's not a mature sector. It's constantly evolving. It's a nascent emerging technology. So what we see right now, we shouldn't take it as the final version of what this technology is going to look like. So now, with regard to the Bitcoin being a unit of account for these assets, which I think is the question that you're asking, the unit of account usually comes towards the end of money evolution cycle. I think I might have mentioned this before, but usually the first stage is the store of value, which is where we are right now. And then comes the medium of exchange. And then after all this, then you see the unit of account being applied to this new money-like asset, right? So unit of account application of a Bitcoin, I think, is still some time away. And what it means for the stablecoin, I think, was another question you asked. I think stablecoin, what it does is it supercharges U.S. dollars. So what I mean by that is that there's a lot of demand for U.S. dollars as well as U.S. dollar denominated assets around the world. But not everybody outside the U.S. can easily access them. What stablecoin does is by putting it on a blockchain, which is essentially the frictionless value exchange rail,
Yeah.
Anybody can. It's very easy to access US dollars all of a sudden. So I think that's why somebody like the Treasury Secretary Bessent is very keen on this, because by allowing US dollars to be more widely accepted globally, it helps promote the US dollar hegemony.